You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. Hello, good evening. No music, would you believe? And we're celebrating 3 million viewers served this evening since 2011, and we're also covering what's going on in the UK. This is Force 13 Live. I'm Nathan Foy. I'm joined by the Skype team for a light-hearted evening here, and I hope you guys can join us as well as we take a look back and at a few of the things we've done, and also discuss what's going on today and what's going to go on in future. And have a little bit of fun as well, maybe do some Guess the Storms and whatnot. I'm joined by the Skype team this evening, and we'll also have discussions about what's going on worldwide. Obviously, some rain events going on in the US, for instance, and of course cold weather as well. And snow moving into the northern part of the UK, which is of course where I am based. And if you've got any comments or questions, it can be about anything at all. You can get through to us on the comments section at any time. The time is 9:32 UTC, and we're about to tick over the 3 million mark. And you know, usually I never really make a fuss over viewers and numbers and things like that, but I think it should be recognized, and just for to show really how many people we have helped over the last few years in delivering our storm information, which is obviously our priority number one. We don't really care so much how many people it gets through to, but to know that we have helped at least someone out there, it showed especially during Hurricane Matthew that we can become definitely a force for good. Let me introduce the team then. Basically, it's going to be an evening where who knows what might happen. There's me in the bottom left-hand corner, and there's also David, Craig, Lee, and Marcel, and you can only see half of Craig. There's the rest of Craig as well. Webcam's free as well if you'd like to show us what you look like this evening. But here I am over here with the beautiful Force 13 logos behind me, hey, and Craig with the Scottish flag there as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
Proud to be Scottish.
Absolutely. And guys, and also I should also point out at this early stage, whilst I've got everyone's attention, Force 13 in the next few weeks, hopefully we're going to be beginning next week, we're going to be starting out new live streams. We're going to be using the Force 13 live tool, which is obviously here. The link that you're on right now will be used for all live events, and we'll be covering many different things throughout the week. We'll be live pretty much most nights of the week, if not all. And at midnight every night, we're going to be doing a live tropical weather bulletin every night at midnight UTC. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, 8 a.m. in the Philippines, and I think that would make it 10 in the morning over in Australia, David, along the East Coast at least.
That's right, Nathan.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
And, well, this year has already started interestingly. We've had one W. Would anyone like to comment on what's been going on with that?
Dying last, I know.
Oh
but,
yeah, it's dead now, effectively. But it did happen a while ago.
There is a smaller chance of it coming back due to decreasing shear over it, but chances are at the minute probably minimal at the time. All of a sudden there is 97W, which is confusing and questionable.
Oh, I've got to say, I've got to break in here because we're only 5 views away from serving the 3 million. 299,995. Remarkable. And we certainly thank everyone. And in fact, it's already broken it, I've got to say. The number keeps soaring. I have to thank all the viewers for what's been going on with the support that we've been receiving, and we hope to continue to do a good job over the years to come as the number now reaches 3 million and 90, not 3999, no, I wish, 3 million and 6. So we certainly thank everyone for that, and if you'd like to join the project, or at least become a guest on any of our broadcasts in the future, especially if you're in a storm-prone area and there's a storm heading your way, do let us know. You can add Fool13 on Skype if you use it, FOOL13, and you can also contact us through our mediums, Force13 on Facebook and Twitter, all in text. So we're going to be covering all sorts of things, whatever we want to show, and also, if you've got a favourite Force 13 video that you'd like us to show on air, go right ahead and let us know, and we'll go ahead and show it, I guess. If it's not too long. If you want me to play out 104 hours of Hurricane Matthew coverage, that's not going to happen, I'm afraid.
Yes. Or Norma Lore either.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. In the future, perhaps we might be able to split it up, or.
What do you mean?
Well, you just mentioned you're not going to show the full 104 hours. Perhaps we can.
It is all online for your consumption.
Yeah,
if you'd like to look back at the Hurricane Matthew video. I do from time to time to see how we did, how we could have improved, and whatnot.
And looking back, any new thoughts?
Any new thoughts? The only thing I wish could have been better during Matthew is if we could have broadcasted literally 24 hours a day. I know we kept the stream running, but it was silence for 8 hours or more.
Yeah.
We'd really like
Obviously
to...
sleep.
Yeah, to be able to talk the whole time. That would be very helpful.
Well,
sleep is needed.
Well, what about that live stream when Jason got called away and you left me in total control for, what was it, 4 or 5 hours?
What storm was that?
4 hours. That was just...
That's a full...
That was during our just some coverage that we were doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't to do with any storms.
Oh, right, okay.
Now, guys, I believe... well, if you want to pop up a screen share and show us anything that's going on around the world, anything you want to draw our attention to, you can go ahead and do that. We've also yet to introduce Marcel, if he's... or hear from Marcel, at least, if he's there.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
The small voice in the background.
This is also quite exciting as well. Force 13 on Espanol is coming back. Marcel, have you got anything to say about that? Because you'll be one of the presenters.
So I think that is a great idea for expand Force 13 to the Spanish community, to the Spanish-speaking community.
It's important, of course, because Latin America, a lot of it is hurricane prone. I mean, the Philippines is sort of Spanish in a way, but maybe not exactly. Go on.
No, but I think the most we have of course Latin America, Caribbean islands like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, and I think there's some people on Texas, on the coast of Texas, some Hispanic people, and also we have Spain.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a storm hitting Spain anytime soon.
Don't mention that unnamed subtropical storm there. Don't.
I thought you were going to mention Vince.
Oh, God. No, I was going to mention Stephanie. Damn it, I did.
Yeah, it was only named Stephanie by one forum poster.
Yes. Yes.
Officially
there's a subtropical storm in the Bay of Biscay.
Well, people love attaching labels and naming things to everything. 43 degrees at Force 13 HQ, and maybe we should talk a little bit about the US scene right now. Let's take a look at what warnings we've got in effect across the United States, and then we'll take a look at the UK as well a little bit later. We have winter storm warnings for... where would that be? Parts of Idaho, and further east over the Rocky Mountains mainly, and over eastern parts of California, parts that border Nevada, and an odd slither of New Mexico, unless that is a red flag warning. No, that's a winter... No, it isn't. It is a red flag warning. The winter storm warning's further north. And then you've got a winter storm watch in effect for parts of Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and also for parts of Missouri into Illinois, with a winter weather advisory for parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. And it looks to be flash flood watches or flood watches in effect along the coast of Lake Erie, I believe it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I keep forgetting which one's which to the eastern lakes, but the one that's by Ohio, it is Lake Erie, I'm sure of it. Ohio and New York.
Dear.
Flood watches in those areas.
And very little wonder, I'm just looking at radar and just seeing a massive area of rain heading towards that area.
But you're looking at the situation in the UK as well, Craig, because there are winter weather warnings issued by Force 13 on the graphic to your right. Those are all warnings issued by Force 13. There is no... that the warnings aren't as coordinated in the UK as they are in the US by the officials, so we take it amongst ourselves upon ourselves to do these warnings. You can see the latest. You can see the little ones in those red areas. Those are special weather warnings where there are 2 or more warnings in effect that we can't display both of them at the same time. That is for, in all of those locations marked with a 1, that's high wind warnings coupled with a winter weather warning. Effectively, to expect blizzard conditions quite possibly in those areas maybe, but high wind warnings for most of northern and western. So, Craig, it doesn't cover your area. Stop cheering silently. And
Damn it. I can only be hopeful.
Winter weather advisories extending way further south over big parts of the UK as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the wind shear, and the jet stream is, well, wind shear is decreasing over eastern parts of Scotland, which is going to be causing this winter, well, whatever it is, pain in the backside, what I'm calling it. Basically, to probably start weakening if it is an extratropical cyclone, which I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It has been described as a weather bomb, which is where it's a weather phenomenon that brings...
Is that what the Bureau of Meteorology cover?
Well, our lot do.
Weather bombs.
Oh.
Took a while.
Got you, Craig.
God damn it. I don't know, maybe the Bureau of Meteorology do. You don't know.
Maybe.
Do they actually cover that?
I don't know.
Or does that not actually occur down in the southern hemisphere? That only occur in the northern.
All right.
As in weather bombs.
Sorry, I'll come back to that. No, I was just distracted with activity down here in the southern hemisphere, and Stephen in the chat room.
Yeah, I've not looked properly. I'm just looking now to see what anyone is saying.
Oh.
Apart
Lee,
from saying that the live stream is laggy, which is something that does not appear to be the case from here. It seems to be running pretty smoothly, I have to say. It must be a problem at your end.
I'm just looking at the chance of formation from NOAA on this quote-unquote chance of tropical development in the Atlantic, and I am seeing it at the minute, and it's very much 100% extratropical at the minute, maybe / upper level low for the time being, but I'm going to try and get a screen share up here just to show what I'm blabbing about. There you well, as long as the screen share works.
Yeah. What are we looking at here?
If it does, anyway. Well, mainly the area what NOAA has tagged for chance of a tropical cyclone forming in the Atlantic, which, well, really, come on. It's extratropical. You can see there, the center is exposed.
But
as you oh god, here we go.
Alex.
Oh, why did I
My
know
answer
you?
to that.
Why did I know? That's a totally different scenario. That was totally different.
Is it?
Yes. Alex came from there. Oh no. And
You never know what might happen.
Yes, that's what I'm dreading. I am not really going to be happy if there's a second January hurricane, which I'm hoping there
In
isn't.
2 years.
But
I just
yes.
want to, whilst we're here then, to bring up some little stats that people might be interested in. I know that Stephen mentioned a few moments ago how it is the lowest ACE for the Southern Hemisphere to date on record with no cyclones, right?
Yep.
And last year, 2016, the Australian region had only 6 cyclones, which is the lowest since the 1970s.
And only one Australian region born, am I right?
I don't know. You probably know more than me.
Well,
But you know, that's very, very low. Lowest in 40 years. Another interesting thing that we've been covering, that we've covered up recently, or discovered rather, is the discovery of a typhoon that occurred in 1932. Might not sound particularly interesting, but what is interesting about it is that it was most likely a typhoon when it was affecting the Sulu Islands southwest of Mindanao in the Philippines. No storm has ever impacted those islands to our knowledge, apart from what would now be that one. The third typhoon rather of 1932, which occurred in late April into early May. So that's a new stat there for the Western Pacific, rediscovered from the old. Craig, what's going on?
I will come. I have got new information for you on the Australian region cyclone season of last year, and there was actually 2 born.
What?
There was 2 storms Australian region born, unless you want to count Raquel.
Right.
Of July.
Yeah, well,
but
I
the
don't
only
know.
one that was officially there that was Stan.
Yeah, I don't know how that would rank in the record books. Obviously, I couldn't really tell you whilst we're alive. But yeah,
if you that's if you want to count Raquel, but I'd really count either. Well, was Tatiana? I think Tatiana may have been just South Pacific. Yeah,
well, you
but
can
Stan
tell
was
by the
definitely
names of the big.
100%.
Right.
Yes, there's a big difference, and unfortunately, looking at it, they don't supply the naming list for it, saying what's used and what's not.
So just to let everyone know, we went live this evening because we wanted to celebrate, I guess, the fact that we have now served 3 million viewers since we launched in 2011. That feat was achieved at around 15 minutes ago. And it's already gone up another 100 since then. As always, we thank you very much for the support, and we try and make it as engaging as possible, try and make you feel as part of the broadcast as possible, and we always encourage you to help us out during the big storm events, the best example of that being Hurricane Matthew, when a lot of you helped us during our coverage. If you've got a favourite video from Force 13 at any time during its history that you'd like us to dig out from the archives, you can ask us and see if we can get it out for you. Most of them we can. We can't really get many live events onto the screen, though, unless it's a particularly historic moment that occurred.
Or a short one.
Yeah. And I know that, David, you wanted us to show a particular video. Would you like to explain it?
You caught me unaware. Hang on.
I did.
Oh dear.
Right, and Lee, I need your help too, mate.
He's not here. According to Lee, Lee's now starting to get snow.
Oh, hang on. Just
that
give me
means
a
I
minute.
must not be far away from it either.
Alright, we'll be counting up to a minute for you, David.
And within
I'm
that
trying
minute,
to.
Sorry,
I'm
David.
bringing up links so I can activate a screen share, and Nathan puts me on the spot. So Oh, he does that to me. I never know when he's going to.
Could be worse.
Oh,
Just look in the
right.
blooper reel. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yes. We won't
Sorry.
get on the old bloopers.
Well, would you like to help you
I-
out, David? We can make this whole show one big blooper if you like.
No.
Oh.
Right, here comes the screen
Oh,
share.
go on, Nathan. Go on.
Oh, you're doing a
And I
screen
was-
share? Okay.
Hoping.
No, they're gonna be
I've
at my
got it
moment.
Now, Lee. Oh, he's
Lee's not here.
disappeared.
You're
Right.
absent, David.
Actually,
Hmm.
to be quite honest with you, Lee does have a special announcement, which he wants to share with
He
our
does? Okay.
audience and the team.
Okay, David, talk
and,
us through this, please.
Okay, now this is the Yellowstone National Park about 90 minutes ago. And it shows what conditions are like at present over there. And the visibility in this video, which I managed to capture, decreases.
Ah.
And you can actually see the snow drifting from the from the left to the right.
Yeah.
Ah.
And the visibility actually worsens. But
Not
this
surprised it's snowing.
was...
So this wasn't very long ago.
That's correct.
Right.
And this was captured off the government department, what's it, National Parks,
Something like that.
their live stream channel. So you can actually see how deep the snow is. People are being allowed to walk, and I reckon probably 8 inches thick.
Oh my.
Just looking at the
Difficult to tell.
imprint.
But yeah, certainly what you'd expect at that part of the world at this time of the year.
And I'm just checking out the earthquakes, and there's not been many. This has actually been the quietest I've ever seen a tectonic plate so far.
Really?
Yeah, there's been a couple of volcano-related ones. There's been a 2.5 magnitude earthquake 6 kilometers south of one of many volcanoes in Hawaii. I presume that would be on the Big Island, in which it is. And also, there was a magnitude 5, 57 kilometers south of now correct me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, the Tanaga volcano in Alaska.
I had no idea.
If anyone's from Alaska, I do apologize. I really do apologize. But it's on one of the remote islands basically it's
David,
Alaska.
I wasn't quite referring to that, though. We were talking about the best of Force 13, and you suggested a particular video.
Yes, the video which has support from myself and Lee is the one that Nathan did. He actually went out to capture the event, and it's the Cumbria floods.
That's right. Back in 2015, when we had a flooding situation on our hands here in the UK, particularly badly hit was Cumbria, and some places were underwater for quite a while. It was a significant event indeed. Here it is. We'll show only part of it, and we'll talk over it as well, actually. And that is the scene at Penrith, where the waters were really flooding the air. It was quite cold on that day as well, I have to say. I really wouldn't have wanted to have been any of those residents, not only being flooded, but freezing cold water as well, Craig.
Yeah. I know my area was badly impacted, but obviously no property was lost during the flooding. But man, that flooding was pretty damn scary. I mean, the last time
The
my
last time
area
it
saw
happened
that.
was the previous El Nino.
Well, not technically speaking my area, but it could have been. This was
In Cumbria,
the
they
last
had
time this
two
happened
particularly
was-
bad years, Craig. Late
Yeah.
2015 and late 2009, both El Nino years.
Yes, and you would have thought, no offense, and no dig at anyone here, but you would have thought folk would have been more prepared. But then again, you stormed Desmond and
But
stormed Frank.
this is Cumbria is massively rural.
Yeah. I mean, well, you mean you're trying to deal with Storm Desmond and Storm Frank,
And
and
the
on top of that,
terrain is tricky as well.
yeah, I mean, on top of that, I mean, from the two windstorms, Desmond and Frank, I mean, you're trying to deal with tons of rain, and the ground's soaked. The ground can't take it anymore. That was hence one of the reasons why my area flooded. At one point, the suspension bridge, which is actually not far from me, was the flooding was that bad. It actually started covering the bridge. I'm not kidding. It was that bad. And it's not bent anymore, but when I went down just to see how bad it was, obviously it wasn't as bad as it was, but it was still, alarmingly high. Seeing it with a massive tree branch a tree of some description, basically through the middle of the bridge, and the bridge with a massive S-like shaped bend right in the middle of it. I'm still questioning how is that bridge still there? I mean, that bridge was built by the military.
Well,
Just
indeed,
across the river.
some old bridges did not survive that particular event.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a video of the one down in Cumbria where there is actually a image or videos of a bridge literally collapsing. And it shows you how much water was pushing up
Well,
against it.
if
and
I
how
could just skip
hard it
forward
was.
here to this particular bridge, I think this Pooley Bridge collapsed, and as you can see, I know you can't see it, Craig, but the water level of the lake exceeded the height of the bridge even, which must have been quite a way above the level of the lake normally by maybe 5, 10, more than 10 feet, because you'll see on the on this next image in a moment houses that go down a little hill towards the river well underwater. We'll be on to that in just a moment.
And that shows you how alarmingly high that got. But on top of that, you've got, as I said, top of that, you've got the you get the water from the previous rainfall from the previous storms that we had, such as Jake, Abigail, Desmond, Frank, which was just insult to injury, especially for Cumbria, and I mean, just seeing that again, I mean, this shows you what happens when a windstorm can get its inflow tail into the Gulf of Mexico. Well, in fact, stretching all the way from from here to the Gulf of Mexico, and just sucking up all the tropical air and all that moisture up the tail and then into the center. But the thing with Frank was that he became the deepest windstorm that's been recorded, of measuring a air pressure of 928 millibars, and I think just east of Iceland, in fact maybe just on the outer coast of it, on the east coast of it, it actually formed an eye. But that goes to show you how intense Frank was. But I think hadn't the UK got a direct hit, I think they would have been a lot worse. I really think it would have been a lot worse.
Okay. Well, there's some more imagery from the flooding. Sound a bit like David then with the okay. Daniel's joined us.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. You're live. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Hello, Dan.
How would you like to say anything about how you've contributed to tonight's milestone of serving 3 million viewers, and hopefully we helped half of them as well?
Well, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I could talk about the weather in the UK at the moment. Well,
Daniel, you're the only person in this room who was on our first ever live stream.
oh yeah.
Certainly our first ever Storm-based live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
So,
long
you know,
was-
you're... you must feel somewhat proud of that or something.
Yeah,
to that
it's been nearly 3 years, I think, hasn't it?
effect. 2 years since our
It's been
first
2
live
years.
event. Nearly.
Yeah.
Now, let's see, questions, if there are any. Just Stephen's message saying many locations in California have already set rainfall records for the month of January, and it's only the 11th. Major reservoir average levels are 109% of historic levels to date. Of course, we've known about this for some time, a few days at least, that California was going to get a lot of heavy rain over the coming days. I don't know how far into that event we are. Does anyone know? No.
No,
But I know there's some historic amounts of rainfall occurring over there in California right now, and indeed snow further north and at elevation.
Yeah, and I'm trying to monitor that on the radar, and it's looking pretty ugly. It's not looking like a good situation over there at the precise moment in time.
Right. You're looking at what David recommended that we show, one of his favourite video from Force 13, showing our coverage of the flooding that occurred in Cumbria back in December 2015. If you've got a favourite video of Force 13 that you'd like us to show during this special celebratory almost live stream, where basically it's, you know, who knows which direction we'll take next. There's no schedule per se. Go right ahead, let us know in the comments section, and we'll oblige.
And
as long as it's not 104 hours long.
I know my favourite video is not 104 hours long.
Go on.
I'm surprised you don't know it, Nathan. You know the
Something to do with Cyclone
international.
Banksy?
God
The
damn it!
International Space Station coverage of Banksy.
Yes.
Yes, we can get that one up as well.
Basically, him and Pam in the International Space Station flying over them and capturing the lightning, in the storms was just truly spectacular. You're seeing this from basically hundreds upon miles away, and it's showing the storm.
Whilst you're
and
talking
it's
about it, I'll
monstrous.
show it on the screen. Keep talking about it, Craig, as everyone sees it. There it is.
Yes,
Beautiful
and there you can see, and well, the stream's still apparently playing. You're flooding.
Yeah, I know, Craig, 'cause it's going to be behind schedule when you're watching as a viewer, you know. It is a YouTube rule. I think it's technology limitations, where there's always a 15-second delay or thereabouts. But that is the storm there. The lightning flash as it passes right over, you know. It's just...
It shows you, it's staggering. I mean, watching it when I first encountered Force 13, watching it on the International Space Station.
That video is what made you fall in love with Banksy, isn't it, Craig?
Sort of. Daniel,
what's your favourite video?
Well, there's one.
The blooper reel.
Well, there is one where everybody started laughing at this picture.
Oh, I knew it was going to be that one.
And there's another one as well, but it's not Force 13 related. It's on another.
The blooper where we were laughing at where I was laughing during the sea surface temperatures.
I think so.
Right, I'm going to find that one as well, and we're going to show it. This blooper happened back in 2015. Is it this one? Pardon me if it's not this one, but we'll see.
I think it would have been.
Oh yes, here it is.
Daniel,
Take a
what are
listen.
you doing?
Yeah, because it's the one where Devin says, "What are
Sorry.
you laughing
What are
at?"
you lolling about?
What you posted. Don't go there. Let's take a look at the sea surface temperatures instead. Pacific, the eastern half
This
of the
was a while
Pacific. Here it
ago.
is.
Yeah, this
Around
was really
Hawaii,
old.
around those two tropical depressions, soon to be storms perhaps. In the central Pacific, warm waters in the area around 28 degrees Celsius or so.
Everybody's
Stop
laughing.
laughing, everyone.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And then
Pacific,
Yeah, then
very
then
warm
Devin
waters
just calmly
over
says,
the
"What are you
two
laughing at?"
90% areas in the next 5 days.
That's all your fault.
Almost guaranteed that they're going to form, really, isn't it?
That's all your fault.
And
It was his
warm
fault.
Waters lingering along
It
the coast
was.
of Mexico, 30 degrees plus,
What happened?
possibly 32, along the coast of
just-
Mexico.
I'll just fade us out.
laughing at?
The Atlantic. Well, the Atlantic is something to laugh at because no storms ever form there. Off the Florida coast, this has been the case for quite some time. Very warm waters occurring there. "30 degrees or higher."
What are we laughing at?
I'm sorry. Daniel, that's your fault.
I'm sorry. I didn't realise it had caused so much trouble.
You've got to take over now.
I haven't got a script.
I find it very
I've
funny
got
that
those star
Daniel
images.
couldn't do it
Caribbean
even though
is
he didn't
pretty
have a
cool.
script.
Degrees or less.
Daniel didn't have a script. That's the only reason he couldn't do the whole live event.
Lingering off the coast of Venezuela right now.
So why did that happen, Daniel? It was because you showed me a silly picture of what was. Well, can you describe to us what the picture was?
It was just a silly picture of a woman. A silly woman.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be said.
Okay. I didn't know how much you wanted to say.
No,
Hmm.
I don't want to give out too much
No,
information
of
about
course,
the picture.
naturally. Any other favourites of yours, Daniel?
There's one, but it's not. It wasn't uploaded to us 30. It was uploaded to a certain other channel that I'm not going to mention here,
Oh yes, okay, let's move on.
involving a particular soft drink incident.
Yes, that was one of the bloopers. But there we are. Let's just remind everyone what the situation is across the UK and the US. There are winter weather warnings in effect for most of Scotland. In particular, the central part of Scotland, extending further south and into the Highlands. And for Northern Ireland as well, much of Northern Ireland under winter weather warnings, heavy snow possible in those areas. Winter weather advisories in effect for large parts of the Borders region of Scotland, Northern England, and Southern England as well, extending mainly from mid Wales to effectively the south coast near Southampton and as far as the East Anglia. And that may also extend towards London very soon as well. London currently not experiencing any warnings apart from one isolated flood watch to the southwest. There's lots of coastal flood advisories along the Thames estuary as well, and some coastal flood warnings for parts of Suffolk, and also for Yorkshire, North Yorkshire and East Riding of Yorkshire as well, under flood warnings, and more coastal flooding issues as well possible. Deeside and Northern Wales, and also North Devon. The high winds that have been occurring across the UK most of today are mainly dying down. I know that pretty much all of last night and into today there's been strong winds here at Force 13 HQ. But that's how it is right now. The current temperature here is 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 Celsius, and that is probably going to go down before long. And in the US, just to let everyone know what the situation is there, things are changing a little bit as well. Nevada have a few winter weather advisories. I think they've just taken down one or two warnings there, but I don't know what. California looks a mess, especially the border with Nevada. That area has winter storm warnings. There's a lot of, are they flood warnings? Yeah, flood warnings for a huge area of California, pretty much from Modesto along the I-5 as far north as Redding, maybe slightly further than that, into almost the San Francisco Bay Area. There's some flood warnings and coastal flood advisories there as well. It's a bit of a messy situation there right now, and as far east, as far as I could tell, as far east as Auburn, maybe further. Further south in California, there are flash flood watches extending from south of Modesto to Bakersfield, and winter weather advisories south of Bakersfield, I'm guessing over those hills, and beach hazards are prevalent along the coast in the Los Angeles area, extending northwest and indeed towards the southeast, towards San Diego as well. With winter storm warnings northeast of San Bernardino, including over Big Bear Lake. David, I think you've been monitoring what's been going on along the US west coast, and there's been snow occurring further north as well, hasn't there? Is he here? Yeah.
I think so. Nathan, I really haven't got any updated information re that area. I've been looking at the southern hemisphere scene, and there's a bit going on. So when you're ready, I'll activate the screen share. And,
all right. Well, we may as well change tack here for a little while and see what's going on.
All right. Yep. Okay. Tell me when you've got the screen share.
Oh, we're still waiting. Here it comes. If anyone else has any more questions for us, and if they've got any videos that they just love from the Force 13 channel, then do bring it up and we might be able to show it. Over to you, David.
Right, this is the latest tropical cyclone formation probability outlook. You can see the South China Sea, the Westpac, to the southwest of Indonesia, and then you've got that purple area further on the western side of the Indian Ocean. You've got an area of interest which in the Gulf of Carpentaria, the northwest section of the Coral Sea, and Nathan, I think that's the South Atlantic.
Sorry, where?
On the cyclone North Atlantic. All right.
Yeah, that's been there for a little while.
Yep. Okay, 850 MB
in fact,
vorticity.
just to make a quick point on that, David, that Atlantic possibility there that you were just showing, I believe that's gone down a little bit since the last update.
Well, that's a possibility. So
as it should, by the way.
Just quickly, you can see the area of interest off Cairns, tropical North Queensland coast. And now, rainfall for the Australian region. This is the 12th to the 15th, 4-day outlook. So the green is anywhere from 15 up to 100 millimetres. Then if we look at the 1 to 8 day, you can see how it changes.
Okay.
So the rainfall anywhere from 15 up to 400 millimetres. So that's the outlook for the Australian continent. Now, we switch over to the Fiji. This is their latest synoptic chart. There was a low pressure system southwest westerly area of New Caledonia. The Australian Weather Bureau has nothing on their radar with that one, area. Now, the latest from the Nandi, Fiji, Tropical Disturbance 07, 1008, located near 22.07, and Tropical Disturbance 08, 1009. And then we switch over to the Solomon Island satellite.
That's an interesting loop.
Scene. So,
some thunderstorms going on there.
Yep.
All right.
Now, next.
Go on.
Next one, if it's going to load, is 97W.
That looks to be Palau, near the Philippines, there on the left-hand side. It's taking on an appearance a little bit like 1W, actually.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And here's another one.
Wind shear must be high.
Well, actually, I'll get right on top of that department of the shear.
Because it was high for 1W, and
29.
Oh yeah.
And if it's concentrated on the centre of the storm, there, it's far. Well, there isn't a centre, but a presumed centre. It's far away from the thunderstorm activity. Anyway.
Oh yeah, it's
so that's that one.
97W wind shear. Let's have a look.
Well, 01.
Yeah, is that remnants of it are still going near Vietnam now?
29 Celsius sea surface temperature.
Wind shear continues to decrease, and also going at the 97W. Shear's high to its north and to its south, but where the centre is, it's low.
Okay.
And 90B.
Yeah, that ain't got long left.
Responsible for 21 deaths.
Causing a lot of rain over there in Thailand and in in Burma. I want to take this opportunity to talk about what's going on in terms of the project. I touched on it earlier that we're going to be starting new regular shows, programming. As a general rule of thumb, we're going to be broadcasting most, if not all nights, at around 10 p.m. UTC. Sometimes it might be a different time, slightly. We'll be running for about 2 or 3 hours every evening. What is definitely guaranteed is that we're doing a tropical weather bulletin at every night at midnight UTC. That's 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, 8 a.m. in the Philippines, and 10 a.m. on the Australian East Coast. So we're doing a tropical weather bulletin that'll last an hour, where we basically cover every aspect of what's going on in the tropical world. And I just wanted to point out some of the shows that we'll be doing. As I mentioned earlier, and Marcel was talking briefly about, Force 13 on Espanol, our Spanish show. Marcel and Cesar did one last year, and it was quite good, so they're going to be doing it hopefully regularly every Sunday night on the East Coast of the US. And also we may be doing Astronomy Hour on that evening as well. We've got Earthquake Hour on Monday night, the Cyclone History Show on Tuesday, which is mainly Craig's thing, if you want to have a chat about that, Craig.
All of us I got backup for that part, which thankfully Hank is willing to do a bit of not real touch on that part yet. It's unconfirmed, but at the minute, Cyclone History is thankfully making a return, where basically you will be touching on basically everything historic in the world of hurricanes and, well, tropical cyclones, such as obviously as Matthew, but we'll obviously get onto that when it's a little bit older, just a little bit older.
Go on.
But mainly storms such as, like, maybe
Bansi.
storms like, for God's sake.
Guess
What
not.
did he do? What did he do?
Alright.
Become a Cat 5.
Also on Tuesday night, we're going to be doing the 413 Community Hour, where basically we'll be doing a Q&A across the whole of the project. And last week we'll be reading out some comments on some of the videos, for instance. That might be fun. Wednesday night we're going to be showing some historic Storm films, like a night of the movies almost, I guess. Some old stuff, which might be interesting. Thursday nights we've got the climate show, where we talk about the latest in what's going on climatically around the world. Right now we're hovering around the neutral mark, if you're wondering about that La Nina, which hasn't yet arrived. At this rate we could well sink into one pretty soon, but by Force 13's our own analysis, we're not into one, not by any means yet.
Yes.
Friday night, we've got a new and probably controversial show, Debate 13, which will be occurring, where we'll be debating all sorts of things, either storm-related or not storm-related. If you've got any subject matter that you'd like to suggest, you can go right ahead and do so. Friday night after that, we've got the American Weather Roundup, where our American friends on the team talk you through what's been going on there this week and in the week to come. Same for Europe on Saturday night, and we're also doing a new show on Saturday night, 3 hours back to back, because you guys just love it so much, of Guess the Storm on Saturday night. Space. That'll be followed by Force 13 AU later on that evening, and then on Sunday night, we're probably not going to be doing it immediately, but in the pipeline, Daniel, if you'd like me to mention it, the possibilities for Force 13 Gaming that you'd like to host.
Yeah.
Got a quick question for that, Daniel. What sort of games are you willing? Well, have you got planned so far? Got any in mind?
That's the thing. I need suggestions because obviously I want to keep it as child friendly as possible. And
obviously.
Yeah.
We could just attach a disclaimer if not.
Yeah, yeah. That's just the thing as well. I don't know how it's going to work out. Is it going to be like a live gaming stream thingy?
That's entirely up to you.
Right.
If you're gonna want to reply to commenters in real time, then you'll want to make it live. But if not, then
I could re-record it and then play it or something like that.
It's entirely his choice.
It might be more fun to record it live though.
I think so.
Yeah, because if there's any bloopers, at least you can catch them and have a right.
Bloopers make it so funny, especially when you're doing entertainment stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should just record one game and keep carrying on with that, or I should do different games in case it gets boring.
Yeah,
but obviously a variation would do.
Yeah.
But that, in essence, is what the sort of things we're going to be covering. If you have any ideas for any shows that you want us to cover as well, you can let us know. Obviously, whenever we have a big storm or a big weather event, we'll be doing back-to-back coverage for that, no matter what. So I really look forward to that, and it will always be on this link that you're watching us on right now, Force 13's live page. So it might make sense to bookmark this page if you're interested in coming back sometime, because whenever it's worth going live, we'll be here. We'll be right here.
We ain't going anywhere. Not in a hurry.
Yes, indeed. So, guys, I don't know how long we're going to be staying on the air for. Probably not much longer, maybe another half hour. But we just wanted to do a little bit of a celebratory video about how we've served so many viewers, and we hope sincerely that we've helped a lot of people along the way. I mean, I know that we have. And it really keeps you motivated to know the fact and having fun is sort of like a secondary element. If we can have fun during the live streams, during streams like these, and that's fine. But our priorities remain the same. And if there's a big storm event going on, we're here to inform, and we're here to bring you the information as quickly and as efficiently as possible. But that's that.
And we just got a question in the chat.
Oh,
and
we
it
did?
involves the
Tell us to
storms
shut
in the
up or
small
something?
opinion.
I don't know.
No,
Go on.
it's to do with Hank's favorite storm called Matthew. Has Matthew been retired?
Have you noticed that in the last few months, whenever someone said Matthew, even if their name was Matthew, and put it in the comments section, it got blacklisted thanks to Hank's moderation, I think it was. But as you can see, it's been very nicely lifted. But the question is, has Matthew been retired? The answer is, well, that's not going to be decided
but
for
we're not
at least
yet.
2 or 3 months. Usually they do it around April.
Yeah.
But we expect
I'd like to hope it does get retired. I like to hope it does get retired. Just like
a bit of lunacy, if not.
just like it would be lunacy. It'd just be ludicrous. It's just like Winston. If that didn't get retired, then well. But thankfully he did.
Okay.
And I'm a bit surprised that Eula got retired.
They do weird retirements down there. We're joined now by Lachlan. If you'd like to say hello. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hi. Also joining us from the eastern coast of Australia. How are you?
I'm good. Haven't had a chat in a while.
If anyone ever worries about what the future holds, Australia knows.
Oh yeah, 'cause they're there first.
And even Australians aren't too worried. They only look at New Zealand. Anyway, moving on.
Oh no.
And we also we have Lee. So Nathan, is it okay if Lee makes this special announcement?
Can I do that,
Lee,
Nathan?
Are you sure you want to announce it?
I'll tell me to leave it then.
It's up to you entirely. But if it's about what I think it's about, you might want to wait maybe a week.
I'll maybe wait to the next stream then. I'll wait to later stream then.
Wait until your first climate show, which will incidentally be on Thursday the 19th of January.
I'll wait till then and do it.
I think that would be a good thing to do. Alright, let's see.
And I believe Orlando has joined. Yes, it has.
It has. Yeah.
Orlando.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Orlando, Florida.
Susan says a round of rain in Philadelphia tonight, 1/4 of an inch expected. Orlando, since you live very close to there, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that forecast. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. My area's pretty prone to flooding, so.
Ah. Well, keep us informed then if any of that happens.
And Craig, it was snowing here half an hour ago.
I wouldn't be surprised if that snow is on its way here right now.
Marcel, have you got any comments at this time?
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So
I'd like to mention another thing about
okay,
the
go on. Orlando
rain
first then.
that's coming. The rain that happened last night, I believe, it melted most of the snow that we had left over, about maybe 2 inches of snow left over, so that'll add on to the that's already saturated ground, and then you're gonna have more rain, so
Marcel?
not a very good mix.
Right.
What?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think the new programming is good.
Sorry? I didn't hear that.
The new programming is
Yes,
good.
the new programming that we're doing is going to be good. I hope everyone else looks forward to it. And now, I see that you've posted elsewhere that you want Force 13 to do comics. Is that so?
Oh my.
Really?
Maybe Marcel should do the comics.
Oh,
Very
God.
He could
Marcel
be the
is-
comic
is
book
a-
he is, yeah, comic book
He's a
character.
comic.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Or maybe a comedian
Oh.
of some description.
Yeah, during like the background football games. Yes.
You know, we should do the Force 13 Awards. Best comedian. Let's see if the viewers vote for Marcel.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
I wonder
with
who would
Russell
get Best
Dickover, like-
Comedian award by the
Oh,
viewers.
certainly. That certainly wouldn't be me because I'm.
'Cause I think we know the viewers quite well now. But
you
not
can
when
be
it
funny,
comes to the
Chris,
team. Only when it comes to Storms after Hurricane Week 2016.
Oh wait a minute! They find Storms funny? Oh God!
No, not talking about the comic. No, I was just making a
Oh, you
a
want that?
remark
That's
about
fair.
how viewers, how we know our viewers quite well now after
Yeah.
Hurricane Week.
I think after more Hurricane weeks, we'll, you know.
Well,
Hello,
if anyone
Daniel. See,
is wondering about Hurricane Week in the next year, we have no plans for it yet, but we'll wait and see.
It remains to be foreseen
Hmm.
as of yet.
There is some possibility that we might be doing some sort of Cyclone Education Week again this year. For anyone who is entering the storm scene completely clueless, it can happen.
It's not like well, obviously before I joined the team, it's not like I ended up having to before I discovered the Force 13 channels and all that.
Yeah.
It's not like I ended up having to self-teach myself. Yeah, it wasn't. That's not exactly as easy as you think it is. Then once you
What-
get a hang of it after.
What's
a couple
the
of
most
storms,
difficult part for you, Craig?
Well, the most difficult part is actually trying to forecast where the storm's actually going to go, regardless if it's a fish storm.
Well, I'll
Because
tell
it
you
could easily
something.
go.
If anyone hasn't looked at what forecasting was like back in the 60s, you should look, because it was atrocious.
And you still get the one bit of atrocious forecasting to this day yet. It's not as frequent, but there's a couple of storm names we could name and shame, but we're not going to bother because it would, let's say, get everybody triggered.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're referring to.
Yep.
Yeah, let's move on.
Oh,
Now,
wait a minute. Which one? Which one here?
Don't stop it. Well, there's two
It's
classic,
definitely not.
classic examples of late.
Oh God.
Hurricane Joaquin.
Oh.
Oh dear, no. Don't
What do you mean,
back
continue.
what?
on here, Craig.
Hurricane Joaquin.
Is
they-
there one?
they
Is there one
predicted
starts
it-
with
it
a
would hit-
P that I can't remember the
It
rest
would
of?
hit the United States, North Carolina, as a category
Ow! No,
2 or something.
I found that one disappointing when it was just to become a depression and stayed
Right.
on,
But
and then it
what-
became Joaquin.
But what everyone can agree on is
Yes.
Tropical Storm. Or was it Karen? Was it
Mhm.
Karen?
Or that squall line that
Or was
was
it
in
the
the
other
Gulf
one?
of Mexico last
No.
year.
Was it the other one? One of the early storms of 2013. Debbie. Was it that one? Which one
Let's have
they
a look.
predicted to go the wrong way to Texas and ended up going to Florida?
Hang on,
You remember that?
That's very wrong.
let's have a look.
It was one of the 20.
Ah.
Maybe the 2013. Or it could have been 2012. Debbie was 2012, of course. Duh.
I think I know what
Um,
system you're thinking of.
You might not be far off, but I think we know.
No, I think they got
there's
Karen
diff-
right. I can't remember now. Tell me
So-
the
That's
storm.
not
Right,
cat.
I'll just go through the archive of
Yeah,
the
that-
famous and infamous National Hurricane Center.
That took a while.
Now, what year were you on about? 2012 or 2013?
I can't remember now. Take a look at
Well,
Debbie,
there-
would you?
Well, there's a tropical storm Debbie in 2012.
Is that the one they got wrong or not? I can't recall. They all fade
Let's
into
ha-
one
let's
now.
have a look.
Debbie
Let's
and
have a
Karen are
look.
the same storm to me.
Well, Debbie and
Oh,
Karen. Well, Debbie, they forecasted to become a hurricane. Whilst obviously in the Gulf of Mexico on Advisory 1 and head towards, I think, Corpus Christi.
Really?
But-
That's the one. Then.
Yes. And then it didn't, and then it started to word
It didn't
towards
indeed.
New Orleans, and it was supposed to go towards New Orleans as a hurricane, drifting the wrong way, doing our Lenny, but in the wrong part of the Atlantic. And then it was supposed to become a tropical storm. It stayed that way, and it's supposed to hit landfall in, I think, Florida, where Hermine made landfall last year. And it made landfall nowhere near where it was supposed to be. Made landfall, I think, just as a tropical storm. Yeah, just.
Well, Mashed Potatoes 2000 says that I'm the best comedian, spelled Camedian. Well, don't say that again.
No.
A comedian? No, I'm not really built for comedy. I think there's people better placed to do comedy here than myself. Marcel, would you like to discuss your bit of comedy last night when you had a wrestling match?
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
Oh dear God!
Just setting this stream right off the rails with that one.
No, this thing just hit a concrete barrier
Now,
and just
I think
kept going.
I think we're not breaking regulations by saying this. Marcel last night had a legitimate wrestling match with his cat.
What?
Oh my
That-
goodness!
that's
What?
interesting.
No
no.
more, please.
And
He's
did
having
you
a
win,
boxing
Marcel?
match with a kangaroo, I guess.
Oh
Wrestling
no!
match
Which
with
is
the
what
cat.
Jason
My
did last
goodness.
week.
You just see him out in the outback, and he's just squaring up to a kangaroo with a fisticle.
Sorry to interrupt
Get the
you,
going and give him the right hook.
Craig, just to let you know, the snow's coming down quite heavily now up here, so I think you're going to get something down there soon.
Right, I'm going to put my headphones
Some,
down.
it's
and actually
actually
look
a
out the
blizzard
window.
up here.
There's no
Yes,
snow over here.
Winter weather
It's
warnings
not-
were in
Yeah.
effect for those
Yeah,
areas.
it's coming down here now, so
Yeah, I'm just
And
going
it's
to
probably
put
going to be
my
extended
headphones down.
further
Yeah.
south and west as well.
Yes.
Craig's area is under a winter weather warning also. Incidentally, you can find that map, the UK map, for anyone who's interested in UK weather, on the Force 13 website. Let me try and get the page. I forget what the page is. That's not very helpful, is it?
Oh my!
It is quite simply, if you go to the main website, force13.com/warnings.html.
It's not snowing yet, but it's...
no, but it's it'll be on its way to you though.
Quite tinged to this. Well, that's probably the moon coming through. And again, I don't see how dry the ground was. If it's dry, then...
Okay.
I suppose we better have a shall I?
Right.
Um,
Any questions or
Left.
comments for us, do send us a message and we'll respond. And only for another 20 minutes before we depart.
how dry is
Now, Lachlan and Orlando, do you have any Force 13 videos that you would hold in a high regard that we might be able to show on the stream tonight?
roasted, but
The context of it is, I don't if you know, we in the last hour we reached the 3 million mark in viewers served, and we just want to show a little bit of a compilation of our old videos and what your favourites are. Daniel's favourite video was a blooper. What a surprise!
Is that right?
yeah,
Dan?
here's a question. What was everybody's favourite blooper? That's a good question.
Oh no, we're going to talk about bloopers again.
My favorite blooper
There
that
you
I
go.
enjoyed a lot
Yeah.
was 2, which was games laughing
Oh,
uncontrollably.
absolutely. I completely agree. There's no video of that, unfortunately, just the audio. But
And-
I think we can
and-
go and get that.
I think
And then
mine-
there was the alcoholic anomalous. by
John's
John.
Alcoholics Anomalous.
Yeah.
Lachlan, just
John,
one
you need
moment
to-
for yours. Let's listen to Cesar laughing. In fact, Devon
none of
swears on that. I can't play that.
Oh, due to profanity, we cannot play this.
We can't play profanity.
Nope. We would if it was
Hold
censored.
on, I've managed to
but,
skip past it. This is what Cesar's laughs sound like. We're going to embarrass him on air. This is what it sounded like.
I don't hear this.
Just crazy.
What?
That was Cesar laughing on air. Not on air, actually. That was off air. I know you guys couldn't hear it, but that was for the viewers. They all heard it, and I just think it's hilarious. You guys can just imagine what it's like. You've all heard it enough times.
Yeah, we've heard that.
I am just now picturing all the viewers on the floor laughing.
Absolutely. Why not?
But I still do have to say, though, of all the bloopers, I think one of my favourites would be your conversation with David.
Oh,
Nathan.
well, that does go on for a while. Talking about, well, David, we could do one live if you like. How are the floppies doing?
Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. I've got a portable hard drive.
Total silence. 5 1/4.
Sorry?
Nathan, I've got a portable drive.
Excuse me?
Craig, I've got a blooper on you too, mate, but I'll say it off air.
Look,
No.
I've got a portable hard drive.
Yeah, I can see that, Craig. But keep your hard drive to yourself. Now, I want to know about David's hard
You've
drive.
got a floppy hard drive.
David, have you got a hard drive actually?
Which one?
Which one? What do you mean, which one?
You could have more than one.
Oh, there's Daniel. Hello, appearing on the website.
Well, I've got 4 sitting in front of me.
Daniel, you should. Oh, where's that?
Oh god.
You could show us your
Oh,
face
plug one
recognition
in.
thing if you like.
Oh yeah, just give me a second. I need to turn my webcam off though.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about floppies with David in the meantime. Now, well, you
No, I said I've
surely
got 4.
You've got 4
But which
floppies.
size? Which size? Because one,
One size fits all, David.
Oh.
the biggest one, 1 terabyte.
1
the ha-
terabyte.
no,
They
no,
measure them in
one's
terabytes now, do they?
Which is the hardest one.
Well, I don't.
Well, it'd be the terabyte because the casing's quite.
Well, the
Quite
thing
heavy.
is though, with this thing
It's not
here,
working
David,
so
this
well this
thing-
time, Craig. Sorry.
Yeah, but this thing has a terabyte, and it's stubborn as anything because it's made by I'm not sponsoring.
Actually, I've got 5.
Oh.
Did you just plug them in?
But
Okay.
viewers, it's not what I'm saying. It's just their mind wandering.
No. Don't
David, we're all
don't-
very
Total
mature.
silence and Nathan.
But it's funny about.
He would-
I mean, I've got a lot of hard drive slots of my own on the computer. 2 at the front and 1 at the back.
So you just plug it in at the front then? You just plug it in the
Well,
front
I've got
first
about
just to get
5. I've got about 5, 6 slots on this
Good lord.
device,
Well, I've got a big computer behind it, and it's got about
and I've got to get an adapter for one. For a
Excuse me?
Craig.
Let's just call it quits, David.
Yes.
Well, you started it, not me.
Craig had
carried
a
on.
phase where he was talking
So you
about.
got you, didn't I?
Craig had a phase where he was talking about exposed centres of circulation running around the Atlantic nude.
Oh, they're doing that in the South Pacific Coral Sea at the moment.
Yeah. Are they doing it for charity or something?
Probably.
They're doing that thing that Scotland does in the New Year.
Right.
They go like running into the North.
Yeah. They do that, don't they? There's
After
some
New
sort of
Year.
event that goes on.
I think
No.
Nathan was stuck for words.
Oh, no.
What he
Does he need a shovel?
tried.
Does he need a shovel?
Right.
I've got a shovel here.
We're just about ready to go with the
Shovel
webcam.
Oh,
for
you
what,
are.
Craig?
Go ahead.
Well, he's stuck.
There's Daniel.
Hello.
I love that software.
Oh my god.
That is motion detection.
Oh, yes.
What's it called?
Face rig.
Face rig. Where
Yeah.
Daniel has now morphed into a cat. I'm talking to a cat.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh
you're
my
killing
God.
Craig.
Meow.
No, I'm already dead. I'm just a ghost. I'm not here. I'm just.
my.
You know what? I'm just over here now.
Daniel the cat. That's
Okay.
that is our new mascot.
Daniel the cat.
Yeah. That doesn't really fit.
I
very well,
can't
does it?
tell you how badly this has gone into the gutter.
No, it hasn't gone into the gutter. We're supposed to be doing this. We're not covering anything
Really?
serious, and we have no apology for that.
Well, you did have one where you were reading out the SSTs and it was all Daniel's fault when he posted that
Yeah,
bloody
well,
photo.
Incidentally,
That is a funny.
if anyone does want to know what the SSTs are, we could tell them right now if we wanted to. Let's
Oh,
take a look. West Pacific, very warm.
hang on
As
a minute, Nathan. Right, Daniel, you've got a challenge. You've got to try and put Nathan off to the best of your abilities.
Oh,
I
that's
don't think
all.
that's very professional.
Come on.
Right, so sea
Where?
surface temperatures. Let me talk through the sea surface temperatures. The Western Pacific, currently the SSTs are around 30 Celsius. Is it 30? No, 28 even. 28 Celsius around Palau, getting towards 30. Where that invest is right now. In the South China Sea,
how
they're
much is it
also pretty
investing?
warm, 28 or so. The northern South China Sea, very cold actually, underneath 26.
Nathan, how much is it investing?
The North Indian Ocean is also pretty warm, 28 degrees further south, underneath 10 degrees north. Further north in the Bay of Bengal, Santa's on the screen. It's around 26 to 28. And further west in the Arabian Sea, sea surface temperatures are around 28 degrees.
Wait, what?
Or a little bit higher, perhaps. I just can't take it seriously when he's looking at me like that.
There you go.
Southern Hemisphere, the Southwest Indian Ocean, 28 degrees or slightly more. A little bit less in some areas. Along the coast of Australia, 30 degrees, maybe even slightly higher along the coast.
This is
The
pretty funny,
Coral
dude.
Sea, 28 to 30. South Pacific, 28 to 30 generally. And in the Atlantic, if you're wondering about tropical development in the Atlantic, sea surface temperatures are around 26 degrees only a little bit further north than the Greater Antilles and Cuba, and also along the Gulf Stream almost as far as South Carolina offshore. Santa's very cross. The East Pacific,
You're getting a lump of coal.
a very small patch of 28 degrees or higher off the coast of Mexico, and that's about it really, and a few signs of a potential La Nina incoming.
Oh, there's.
That concludes the sea surface temperatures.
I do have to give it to you, Nathan. You somehow held out through that.
No,
He did
you lost
actually.
out there.
Did
You
pretty
lost
well
out.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
convinced you lost out.
Oh, shut up. I've done quite well since 2015.
You've improved.
Does my voice sound any different?
Well, it doesn't really fit the person.
You're not doing Santa's voice anyway.
Did I have done a voice changer thing?
I
Does it
just seen it on the
work?
live stream again. You're up close.
Try this one.
Oh.
Yep. You know, the first sign of going crazy is talking to food before you eat it.
I don't want to know what you do Nathan, before
No,
you
we
eat
don't.
it.
Oh, it is a talking burger. Talking cheeseburger.
You think we're? Oh God!
It's a nice cat, though.
Jesus Christ, Nick! Jesus Christ, Daniel!
It's not
Seems
as nice
chips.
as Gaston the cat. Marcel, is he
No.
around?
Oh.
I'm asking a serious. I want to take a look at Force 13's mascot of 2016 at least. We don't know whether we've kept him on the contract for 2017. Gaston is yet to sign it actually, but we'll wait and see.
And then you have to pay him cat treats every
well,
weekend.
Marcel handles all that stuff.
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
here we go.
Marcel, is there any sign of your cat available?
Oh
What is
my
this turning into,
goodness.
really? We just wanted to see him. He was the mascot of Force 13
Yes,
in
he was.
2016, you know?
It's a serious question here.
It is quite serious. You know, we just want to be able to see him on the live event. I don't think many of our viewers... I don't think many of our viewers are familiar with what Gaston looks like.
Okay. So
If that's okay
there's
with
the-
you.
So there's the Gaston, guys.
The Gaston.
Yay.
Oh, okay, we're looking in Marcel's
There's the
room. Apparently.
I
I
think he's trying to show the cat.
He's trying to find him.
Yeah, wait till we've got him.
Where's the cat?
He'll be there somewhere. Keep talking, Daniel. It just mesmerised me how the thing could talk.
It recognises facial expressions as well,
Does it?
like smiling.
Yeah.
Let's smile and see if it moves there.
It's quite funny.
Look,
Oh, yeah.
Quite difficult to
Yeah.
tell on the wolf, though.
yeah.
Yeah. You should put it on to something that you would be able to see the smile.
Got that snowman.
Try the snowman, so it's if
That
that'll
would be creepy.
show the
Oh, it's,
smell.
it's the time of year. Yeah, he's
And
happy.
Marcel died.
Oh, Marcel's left
And
us.
we've lost.
Well, we've only got
Yeah.
8 minutes left. We need to be able to see the cat before we finish.
Maybe it's under that cut.
Who knows?
Oh, there's the snowman. There we are. Oh, it shows the facial expressions quite well. Oh, yeah.
It does. I love that software. Not worth $15
Yeah,
in my opinion, but
I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
It might not be fit. Have you looked at it?
yeah, it's $15 on Steam, and you know, I might pay 10 or 5.
Well, they might have a sale on it at some point. I think I got this on sale.
You know,
That was pretty cool, actually.
I'm not sure it's got. I don't know.
Nathan, I think it's just
Quite
for
funny,
fun. I think it's just for
You
fun.
can record videos with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Daniel should be our mascot for the year. Ah,
So
big
it should.
smile.
Because then Daniel could dress up for the occasion.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Daniel.
I've got a sky model from Skyrim as well. Wait for it to load.
Waiting for Marcel to return at this point.
Yeah, it's probably his internet.
What are you doing, Daniel?
Loading this model up.
Okay. Oh,
The heck?
Oh, God.
Not
That's
bad.
scary.
And then Doctor Who featured, what is it? A Silurian, that's it.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any last minute questions for us whilst we're on the air, do let us know. Lots of people talking about bloopers. Katrina
Oh my.
replaced Jose in the What Might Have Been, apparently. The 2005 What Might Have Been went out not long ago, a few days ago, and there's one or two shocks in there. If you don't know what the What Might Have Been series is, it's what the Atlantic seasons would have looked like if the models were right, and that naturally means that different names were retired. I don't want to spoil anything for future years. I'm just going to let you find out as the videos get uploaded.